Welcome to the Marketing Intern Spotlight. A marketing intern is a listener who's spreading our message authentically. Hear their story, their passion, and their journey. Enjoy.
Today we have second string producer Mark Amick on the Backpocket Podcast. How you doing today, Mark?
Doing well, boys. Thanks for having me.
Long time coming. We're all so stoked for this. We purposely recorded on a Friday because we were like, we're always just gonna be so hyped on Friday. We're gonna be high energy regardless, but high energy more on Friday. So we're stoked for it.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Long time coming for sure.
Let's get right into it, Mark. I mean, we only got 30 minutes here on the Marketing Intern Spotlight. So for those of you who do not know you, can you provide a brief background?
Yeah, so I am from Lake Zurich, Illinois, suburb of Chicago. Grew up with an incredible family back home. Mom, dad, sister, all great friends of the program. So shout out to you guys if you're listening.
They've all been on the podcast.
Yes, they have. Mm-hmm. Just an awesome upbringing. Great group of friends back home. My best friend since I was 6. Still my best friends today. And fun childhood, exposed to a ton. Got to play every sport in the book and grew up, had a ton of fun. And went to Carmel High School, go Corsairs. And
that's a mouthful.
Corsairs?
Yeah. How was that chanting it at like basketball? Well, you played basketball.
Yeah.
So how's that chanting it at sporting events?
It's all right. It's not the catchiest.
Yeah.
It's more like CCHS, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
The abbreviations.
Yeah. Got lucky enough to come up to Minnesota, play some football, get a great degree, and meet some incredible people and have an amazing college experience. So, I just started chiropractic school in the fall at Northwestern Health Sciences University in Bloomington. Another mouthful. And things are going well. Yeah.
That's what took it to, I mean, that story right there, we connected end of your high school career, end of our high school, beginning of college. We met Chicago Barbecue.
Sir.
Shout out the Dowdles for bringing us together. Yeah. You came in your purple polo.
Purple polo. You were buzz cut Andrew with the glasses.
Yep. And we met for the first time, and we just like, hey, what are you gonna play? Safety. Oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna be safety too. And then we're like,
all right. Spent a lot of time together though.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
The Chicago boys, I always have such a, I just love those are the people that I first connected with initially at St. Thomas. Coming in freshman year, almost all my friends were out of state Chicago.
It was like the out of state crew we all connected.
Wisconsin, there was definitely a bond in the out of state because there was for sure those cliques early on in state Minnesota, as you'd expect, just like high school rivals. They knew each other, so they immediately were drawn towards each other. And then we were like, oh, we're all out of state. We don't know any of you. Yeah, let's just become friends.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked out.
Here we are.
Yep.
So one thing that I love about you, Mark, is, dude, your growth between, I would say, when we graduated from school to what you're doing now at chiropractic school. Yeah. Like, dude, your academic prowess and just how hard you freaking work now is so nuts, dude. I want to tap into that a little bit. How's it been going?
It's been good, man. It's like you said, it's just totally 180 from last year.
Not to say you were a bad student before, but like
just a different beast.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, 100% the most motivated I've ever been, the most I've ever applied myself at school. And it's awesome. I mean, it's a grind and long hours, putting in early mornings, late nights, but there's like a new sense of accomplishment and purpose that I have on a daily basis where I come home and like my head hits the pillow and I'm like, let's go. That's a hell of a day.
Nice. Yes.
As opposed to last year, just chilling. Yeah.
It's awesome though. I mean, when you can put your head on the pillow and just say, hey, I did everything I need to do. I'm stoked for the next day because I got more opportunities. And that's kind of like what we were able to gather through football. And we were just talking about this with Greg last week. The football transition into we had this bond, but how can I apply it to the next life is not easy because it's such a different circumstances and different pressures. But you have to find where that bond is with your classmates, but also internally in that motivation. And I think that's your example of taking it to grad school is 100% holds true.
Yeah. I've always felt like kind of just the way we were prepared. Football is obviously so much different, but you kind of go into life with this new sense of confidence that you can take on pretty much anything. Like you're built for it kind of thing.
That is a good point. I think for our marketing interns, the listeners, just rehashing kind of your football career is a little bit different than what most people would have gone through. you had to, battle injuries throughout. You tore your ACL sophomore year. Yep. Okay. And would you be able to just kind of unpack your full 4 years? Don't have to go into great detail.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, it was a grind, and it was different and not how I envisioned it going, but still, I don't want to say I wouldn't trade it. Obviously, I wish things would have gone a little differently, but It was still incredible, and I learned probably more from all the adversity that I went through than any success I would have had. So, but yeah, just tough string of injuries sophomore year, halfway through the season, which was going really well, and I was playing pretty well and getting some play time at that point, and kind of moving my way up the depth chart, and just a freak non-contact ACL injury in practice. And then everything just kind of never got back on track after that, Junior year came back after 8 months after my surgery, and was again playing pretty well. And then it was 3 or 4 days before we bust to Eau Claire, and I got leg whipped by Maddie C, and just kneecap subluxed, and then MCL was hurting, and that was just a whirlwind, and kind of took me off guard. I was excited for that year, and so that sucked, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
It's crazy because, it's not fun to, talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not easy to talk about it, but your mindset in terms of just I would trade it into, obviously, have a better career, but I still learned an insane amount, which is kind of what Greg was touching on last week. What was your biggest takeaway from the 4 years you played?
Just overall, not for injuries.
Just biggest takeaway.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Obviously, a lot of adversity throughout the 4 years, so kind of definitely learned a ton about just patience and perseverance, and kind of going through those injuries, and learning how to roll with the punches. And you can either stay down on it, or you can put it in the past and work to get better. So definitely that mindset was huge for me, especially basically 3 years in a row I had injuries, and each year the motivation was I can't wait to get back on the field and play with you guys.
Right.
So kind of take that and run with it. I would say perseverance was kind of the big thing, dealing with adversity and just bouncing back.
That's a great takeaway. And I mean, you framed, before we even started about how your football career went, you said it wasn't how you envisioned. And I think that's a perfect way to just kind of break it down. You didn't say it was a failure, but it was an outcome you didn't predict.
Yeah.
And that just so happened that was the circumstances that was presented. And you took those, and you're like, how can I become better? And when it was time to hang up the cleats, you're like, I want to be a part of this team, and this is going to be my career one day, so I'm going to take full advantage of this opportunity. And you became an athletic trainer for us. And I think that was another huge growing moment for you, to see yourself part of still with your team, and a kind of a less pressure situation of entering the athletic training world. And you were with us, and then that took you to your next passion and going to grad school, because there was a time that you were thinking about taking a year off. Is that correct?
Yep.
So what was kind of that period of time, senior year, when you were like, oh, I might take a year off because grad school is going to be really intense, and then you end up saying, I want to get after this right now.
Yeah.
Can you break that down?
Yeah, I would say a lot of it stemmed from the injuries. My whole passion for getting into what I want to do now is because of the injuries I went through. So that's a big positive that I can take away from it.
Oh, sweet.
And so I would say, I had another surgery in last April, to kind of fix up everything that was jacked up with my knee. And I just had a really cool mindset at that point, that I was so motivated to get back to healthy. And it wasn't even for football at this point, which was cool. It was I just want to be able to do life and be pain-free and kind of heal myself. Basically, I was going to be my biggest project. So I kind of took that and ran with it, and was I'm going to jump into school. I want to get right into it. And the faster I can kind of learn, help myself, the faster I can get out, start helping other people, which is pretty cool. So
right on. And then that kind of took us together to Dr. Matt Wiest when the last time you sat in on an interview. And I think that's another cool thing. The back pocket kind of bringing value to our friends is one of the coolest things, when we were able to do that. And you sat in on that conversation we had with him, and then now you're in touch with him on a daily, and you just recently shadowed him.
Yeah, I was there yesterday.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
How's he doing, by the way?
He's good. He was
good.
asking about you boys. Yeah, but it's awesome. I mean, like you said, for you guys to be able to bring value to me and something, for you guys just texting me saying, hey, we're having a chiropractor on tomorrow. You want to stop by? I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, he's an awesome guy and doing some really cool things. And he's got this really, really neat focus that he's networking with a bunch of people and sponsoring. He's a big time entrepreneur as well as a great doctor, so it's sweet.
He is a hustler for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's a hustler.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things you were telling me last night was how during some of the appointments or right after the appointments, he was willing and able to kind of like maneuver the conversation in a way of, hey, how can I bring you value?
Yeah.
In a sense, like, can I sponsor an event that you're doing? And I think that's a really cool note to bring up. Like, you're in your profession, but yet you have to find ways to expand, and using your clients is a perfect example. And I didn't really even think about that in chiropractic positions.
Yeah, it's something that we definitely don't think about on a daily basis. And it was like a big piece of advice I got from Matt, and he had another doc working with him yesterday, and they were kind of like, while you're in school right now, obviously learn as much as you can, do your best, but don't solely focus on, getting a 95 as opposed to a 75. Learn what you need to know, but then take time too to kind of start getting that business mind going, start networking with other people, and kind of start planning for the future. So
just seeing you, I mean, that's phenomenal. Just seeing you with your other chiropractic boys at Northwestern, go Cats, by the way.
Go Cats. Bowling
It's so
season
fun.
tomorrow.
Yeah, dude, you guys are cracking me up. I had this idea for you the other day. When you guys were all like in your mustaches and just crushing it in class. You guys need to start like a chiropractic Instagram where you guys are like the snapping neck boys or something. I don't know what you'd call yourself, but just being total chiropractors together doing goofy stuff. I think it'd be freaking hilarious.
Dude, there's some clowns at school. It's so fun. Everybody's really cool.
Really?
Yeah, goofballs though. It's awesome.
That's an awesome transition.
We just took a Christmas card the other day. I don't know if I showed you guys, but
No.
everybody had a mustache, and we all wore Christmas sweaters. It was like mid-November. Didn't make any sense, and we took one outside school.
Well, it makes perfect sense for when you distribute them all.
True. So some people already posted them.
Yeah,
But-
not to brag. Shameless plug right now. If you are listening to this podcast, Backpocket's coming out with Christmas cards.
Oh, there you go.
Go ahead and purchase one for free online. Put your email, your address, and we'll send you one. So get after
Shameless plug.
that. Shameless, dude. Totally shameless.
Let's tap into the Back Pocket and the Back Pocket's core questions. So this is a question you've heard many a times. You know how it's framed. You were our producer for how many episodes? Do you remember?
A couple. I don't know. I did a couple solo, and then a couple I was just sitting there with Steve. Yeah.
What was your favorite one that you produced? If you remember which ones you produced.
I don't know if I...
Did you produce with a guest at all ever?
I feel like I did, but
Yeah, probably
all I
some
know
point.
is the one that I sat in on that I loved was Dr. Pritchard, going to her office.
That
and
was
the four of
awesome.
us sitting around. I was looking at all of her books the whole time, hearing stuff. That one was fun.
Episode like 4. I
Yeah,
think.
that was early on.
That's phenomenal. All right. The average quality question. Mark, what is your average quality?
This is a good one. I thought about this one hard, and I'm going to say I love this one because I'm proud to say that I'm average at it now, and that's getting up in the morning and transitioning from a night owl into a morning person. And I say that I'm happy I'm average at it because throughout my entire life I've been like awful at getting up in the morning. And you can attest to that,
Yes.
being my roommate. And Andrew used to come into my room in Grand and Finn, and my alarm would just be buzzing in the morning, like the really annoying alarm when it was like, and Andrew would come and be like, "Dude, turn it off and get up," and I would sleep right through it.
Yeah.
No way.
But yeah, so transitioning from going to bed at like 2 last year every night and waking up at 11 or noon,
No
making
way.
breakfast, going to class at 3, and so yeah, now getting up at 6:30 and having class at 8, getting up, doing a little yoga in the morning, making some breakfast, and it's totally new, but I feel like I've gotten average at it at this point.
That's
I'm
awesome.
excited to keep getting better.
I was nervous for you. Living with you for 3
Yeah.
years and then knowing that you had to transition to this for grad school,
Yes.
I was like, how is he going to do this?
Yeah.
3 years I've lived with him, and I knew it was like your whole life you'd been the same.
I
In the
like
sense,
snoozing.
You like
Yeah,
sleep. You
yeah.
love your sleep, and you
It's the
love
best.
staying up late.
Yeah.
Like that's when you're most productive.
Yeah.
And then you get. I mean, that's totally natural. Everyone has their different productive hours, and that was yours. So I was like, how is it going to work in grad school? Because you have to get up super early.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to Greg about it, and he was telling me, because he's living with you still, and he was breaking it down for me. I was like, hell yeah, yes, Sharks, doing it.
Do it, man. It's tough. It's tough. Like I will try to get to bed before 11 every night, but it's just who I am. I'm a night person. I am at my best when I go to sleep at 1 and get like 10 hours of sleep. At least I thought. I'm probably my best now. But it's like I said, like I love now getting up early and having a full day, and when I get home at night, it's a better feeling than just kind of coasting through the day, you know?
Yeah, that's a great point. Are you a morning person in the sense that like it's a Saturday and you have to go study, you'll wake up at like maybe 8?
Yeah, I usually can't sleep past 9 anymore.
Wow.
So
you're a full morning person, kind of.
I'm getting there, yeah.
Damn.
When I went home for Thanksgiving, though, I was out like a light. Went back into my basement, slept till 11 every day. That was nice. But
there you go.
yeah, if I'm at school, I have stuff to do, then I'm not sleeping past 9.
How many hours of sleep are you getting?
I'm gonna say 7 maybe, which is still pretty good. Most nights I'm getting about 7.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. And you get 7.
Yeah, you are not good at your sleep.
Not this week.
Getting up at 4 a.m.
I'm getting up at like 5, yeah.
Okay.
5 or 6. Like, dude, last night we got back from the Yam House concert, and we were like still talking at like 12:30. Well, I went to bed, got up at like 5:45, went to work, got up there by 6:30.
Grinders grind.
Not good.
Yeah.
Gotta be better.
Shark, I want to tap into, outside of chiropractic, I want to tap into the other passions of yours.
Okay.
And the one that I really want to touch on is skiing.
Yes.
So you and I have been on some really cool trips together.
Yeah, for sure.
Starting with Italy when we went with the football team.
You guys skied in Italy?
No.
I
I'm
wish.
just breaking down kind of like the traveling that Mark and I
We've
have
had
done together.
Some fun experiences.
I wish. That would have been nuts.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
So we did Italy, and that was like end of freshman year. And then we went to Hilton Head together, and we went fishing with your uncle.
Yeah.
And then Beaver Creek and Aruba, and I think there's and Hilton Head again, and I think there's another one in there as well. But you guys took a trip also to Whistler in Colorado.
Yeah.
Yes.
Break that down. Just kind of like the planning that went into it, because you guys are so passionate about skiing, and I don't share the like equivalent, but I love to ski, and when I can like maneuver my way into the plans, I'll definitely be there. But you guys are a tier above me for sure. So break that down, like how intense that planning was.
It started. So we took the trip in January 2018. The planning started in May of 2017. So almost the entire year before.
Yeah.
And I texted Mark and was like, hey, you want to do this? He was like, absolutely. I texted my sister, hey, you want to do this? Yeah, absolutely. Started doing some research. We booked a flight probably in October, and then had it all really planned and hashed out after a couple months after that, and we're ready to roll.
Yeah.
What was the organization of it again?
So we met in Vancouver, Canada. Bust up. This was kind of where we were like last minute, was finding all of our transportation in between places.
Okay, that was
But
tough.
we got to Vancouver, met up in Vancouver, and then caught a bus, 2-hour drive up to Whistler, like along the coast.
And it's beautiful.
Prettiest place I've ever been in my life. It was gorgeous. And bust up there, had a little Airbnb on the side of the mountain, had to like walk our way up there, found it, and the best skiing probably we've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, it was otherworldly. It was so fun.
What's crazy too is I forgot my passport in Minnesota when I came back home from Christmas, and didn't remember that I forgot it until 2 days before. So I just had the same day ship it, $330 to get my passport to me before.
Declan's no airport Andrew. He's not quite on top of his stuff like Andrew is.
Yeah. You've evolved.
I evolved, but this was still, we're talking 2018 of this year, still doing stupid stuff. But dude, to your point, I mean, in Whistler, it's just a totally different monster out there. It's snowing every single day, and they get an insane amount of snow every year.
And you spent 2 full days there.
Yeah, we got 2 full ski days in, and then 2 travel days kind of back and forth.
That's right. And then we came back to Colorado. But before we get to any of that, so in Canada, you get above the tree line very fast. You're already at a high elevation, and then when you get above the tree line, it's not just like barren land and steep. It's steep, and it's just all volcanic rock. So you're really skiing in between these massive cliffs
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Yeah.
And has that been something you're used to, or that was a total surprise?
Not me.
Yeah.
No, it was totally new.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some fun, like intense stuff in Colorado, but steep, deep, and dangerous. So it was intense.
Okay.
It's just nothing but bowls, dude. Like you take a lift up and it's just like kind of wide open, and you kind of just choose your chute and you just send it.
Yeah.
And then you end up in the trees at the bottom, and you load back up and do it again. The craziest thing though was like the clouds. If you were stuck in a cloud, you literally couldn't see a thing. And that was like Mark and I's first run, getting super stoked on our very first day, and we're just stuck in the cloud. We're like, I literally can't see anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was insane.
It was awesome though. It was so fun.
So much freaking fun. But yeah, then we came back to Colorado and skied. How many more days? 5
I think
or 6?
I think I had a total of 8. So it was
8.
2 in Whistler and like six in Colorado.
Yeah. You spent 10 full days. Was it the whole trip probably?
Yeah, we were there for 10 days.
10 days on the
days.
trip. I mean, that's so cool that you two were able to plan something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to bring it back even farther. What was kind of like the initial draw to snowboarding and skiing that was something that you wanted to get better at?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I don't know. I like from day one loved the snow, loved playing in the snow, and then it's just kind of like a big boy way to do it. Hop on a board and play in the snow.
Yep.
But I started snowboarding like 3rd or 4th grade. I remember going with my parents, and I skied when I was young, and then made the switch. Wanted to be a badass on a snowboard, and I was so bad. My parents, like, I was bawling on the hill the whole time. I couldn't make it down, crying. Like, they hated it. But I don't know. Snowboarding is it's so fun. It's one of those things where you're just totally in the moment, 100% locked in, and not thinking about anything else, and you're in the prettiest places, in my opinion. So it's perfect.
It's so nostalgic. I also just love the ability to be in the present.
Mm-hmm.
When you're snowboarding, when you're skiing, you're in the present and you're not worrying about anything else, because if you are thinking about the last run, or you are trying to think about you getting on the lift back up, you're going to make a mistake, and that's not usually good.
No,
good.
That's a yard sale or an injury.
That is a yard sale.
Yeah.
That's a double eject.
Double eject.
That's a double eject.
Yeah, it's like we said the whole trip with all of our one-liners and stuff. It's the mountain's your canvas, and you just paint your picture.
Yeah, just getting your turns in, bro.
Just make your turns.
Simple
and
as that.
Yeah.
But the other thing, too, that really brought that out for us, I think, was just the level of intensity that we were skiing at.
Yeah.
I mean, we were skiing from 9 in the morning in Whistler to 3:30 in the afternoon, and we did not take a break.
Mm-hmm.
We literally...
Cliff bars on the lift up. Like, that was our fuel for the day.
That was our fuel.
Yeah.
And we were skiing, like, from the start of the day in full powder, like, steep terrain, and we were hiking, like, multiple times throughout the day, like... We
were in good shape.
Yeah,
going into it.
Yeah,
we were ready.
in very good shape.
Yeah.
So awesome, though.
So another thing that leads me to that. So skiing, and you're kind of, and snowboarding, you were naturally good at it. You just kind of had to tap into it and practice a little bit more. And that kind of is similar in a lot of different things I've noticed after being friends with you for now 5 years, is you have those... You learn very quickly at new things, whether it's like playing darts or pool or going skiing or swimming. Like, everything you have... I'm just gonna say it straight up. You were always better than me. That's what it was.
And me.
Yeah. And I was just like, damn it! What do I have on this man?
Like darts, dude. Like, why darts? Why do you gotta be better at darts than us? Like, you and Steve both. God dang.
And I was just the natural competition in us was just like, what can I beat him in? And that takes me to Mario Kart. Dude.
Oh yeah, let's go. This is our game.
This was our game. Freshman year, second semester, when we became best buds.
Yes.
We beat Mario Kart on the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
And we've been playing that game religiously ever since.
Yep.
And when we compete in it, it's just do or die death matches.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing.
Fun to watch. It's definitely
I miss
fun to
that,
watch.
man.
Oh, classic. And that was one of those cool things that you just bond over. And it needed to be said.
Yeah.
Mario Kart, dude.
Mario Kart. I lived in Cretin freshman year, which was the worst dorm on campus. So I would finish class, finish practice, and walk 2 steps over to Brady, and that was it. Let's play some Mario Kart.
Yo, that's so awesome. I also want to kind of touch on our Aruba trip, because I don't know if we did a whole podcast around it. I actually went back and listened to it, and like the coolest part about listening to those podcasts now is it was just like the podcast. If you hit play, it was just a journey. Like, I don't know if we intended that, but it was, like it was, we were all recording a roundtable podcast in our hotel, and then we go and we cut to a situational podcast where we're at 10,000 or
on an airplane.
On the airplane.
What a great idea that was.
What a phenomenal.
Hit the flight attendant button and wish her happy birthday. Wasn't her happy.
Wasn't her birthday.
Literally, you just turn on that part of the podcast and just a wind tunnel. Like, you can't hear anything. It's so funny.
Brandon Polizuk was like, dude, you guys did a podcast on the plane, right? We were like, yeah, dude, you listen to that? He's like, yeah, I loved it.
It's nuts. That Aruba trip was awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out Amick.
Yeah.
Hopefully Greg's tuned in right now in IG Live.
Yeah, that was so much fun. I've never seen, like, that was just a group of 21-year-old kids acting like 10-year-olds the entire trip.
Dude.
It was incredible.
Oh, and that's another reason why we are the friends we are, is because we just talk about being present. We love life, and we're not afraid to just be little kids. And we love, like, that's when we're having our most fun, is when we are just a bunch of goofballs.
Everybody's together, just bringing out the best in each other. It's, that was so much fun.
Which is why we need to plan another trip soon.
Yes.
You got to get that going.
And like you said, it takes a year to do something like that.
Got to get on top of it.
Got to get on top of it.
If I've learned anything from my dad, it's plan ahead. Plan those things ahead.
Plan ahead for sure.
But life is not always fun and games.
Yes.
There are times when pressure becomes stress and anxiety rises. And I would love to tap into this question now. Mark, what is in your back pocket when these situations are presented?
I like it. So a couple things. I had an example of this probably a month or two ago, and I was at the St. Thomas Library. It was like 10:30 on a Thursday night, and I think all you guys are out. Everybody was doing something, and I'm sitting there studying for something on Monday morning, and just stressed to the max, and sitting there in the library really questioning everything. Like, why am I sitting in this library right now? Why am I in 3 more years of school? I just went through this. All my friends are out making money, and I'm grinding in here. And so it was tough, and I was just kind of sitting there, and I just pulled out my iPad and I wrote down my why, and like why I want to do what I want to do, who I do it for, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go St. Thomas football. I keep my why in my back pocket. And that's, I want to honor the sacrifices that everybody in my life has made for me, especially my parents, my family, you guys, my friends, like coaches, teachers, everybody. I just keep them in the back of my mind, and people that I want to make proud and take advantage of the opportunities that everybody's given me in my life. And then I try to keep a really good balance in my life too. That's something that I think is really, really important. And it's, especially now, easy to get caught up in the everyday grind of school and just being stressed out. But I'll always keep balance above other things. And if it's been 4 hours of studying, I'm done. Like, I'm not putting in the extra work. I'm gonna stay sane and that kind of stuff. It's good for you.
Bro, you just fired me up.
That's amazing. Yeah, that got me fired up too.
That was an awesome answer. Very thoughtful.
Yeah.
I mean, the hair's standing up on my arms right now. That's awesome. And I love that. I mean, we talk about how the podcast embodies Coach Crusoeisms all the time. And I mean, it's transferred in your life, and you make it personal in your own way. And that's just a great example of like, you staying true to your why, but it also just brings a lot of like fulfillment to you and joy.
Yeah.
And it's not just super intense and just like demanding. It's a fulfilling why. Yeah. That's awesome, Mark.
Yeah. And the whole point too behind the why shouldn't be something that you try and formulate to
rigid.
Sound good. Yeah, rigid. Perfect. Great. Awesome, Andrew. Good stuff. So
good word choice.
You kind of just embody this thing, right? It can always be ever changing, but it also should kind of impact you to bring the words out. And that's really what I heard there is honor the sacrifices from all the people you love.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's a reflection, that's an embodiment, that's something that just pushes those words out of you kind of, which is sick, dude.
There's been too many to count, so just do that and pay it forward to whoever's next kind of thing.
I also like what you said about studying for like only 4 hours and then you're like, okay, I hit my peak, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's great self-awareness. And I also love the fact I did the same thing, which is why I love it. But it gets to the point where you can only go hard for so long.
Yeah.
And I don't really know if people actually can go for 8 hours at a time.
Yeah.
And if those are those people, they're typically taking like those 5-minute breaks on their phone. But if you like literally put your phone away and grind for 4 hours, you'll get the same amount of work done. I'm confident in that.
Like it's important and I want to do well, but it's my life and I still want to have a ton of fun. So like yesterday, I studied my butt off after class all day, but I'm not staying at the library till 10. I'm coming home and hanging with the boys and going to a concert.
Yes.
Like that's a non-negotiable. I'm going to be there.
Non-negotiable for sure.
Yeah.
And I love how that's another good example of how the back pocket kind of helps us stay together.
Yeah.
And I don't want to act like we're the reason behind that, but it's just
But we're the
it's a guide. And having these conversations, we've had Steve on, we've had Mark and Jeremy and Annie and all of our really close friends from St. Thomas. And I love that we're able to do this and have these type of conversations. And like I tell everyone, what's your favorite podcast? And it's when I'm able to talk to my best friend
for
30 minutes. And this is a great example. And taking this from February 2017 to what it is today, we have a week left now of season 2. I'm curious from your perspective, what does it mean to be a marketing intern for the Back Pocket?
For the Back Pocket. So, obviously somebody that listens to the Back Pocket, somebody that loves and supports the boys from the Back Pocket, but definitely somebody who embodies the mission of you guys. And, that's to empower and motivate people to become influenced and motivators and to add value to people's lives on a daily basis. And I think, you can be any stage of your life, you can be any career path, but you can always add value to people and you can always motivate and influence people to become the best versions of themselves. And that's what you guys do, and marketing interns are behind that. So
yes. And we love to bring that very simple, yet it's kind of elegant in the sense of just very comfortable.
Yeah.
Like where it's not rigid, again, that word. It's not forced. It's very just relaxed, go with the flow. And when we're just having these conversations, hopefully when our listeners are hearing it, they can feel like just like trying something new is comfortable, and we're just having a conversation.
And it's authentic too.
It's authentic,
it's transparent, and it's not like Andrew and I are the millionaire podcasters trying to sell you on something that is like earth-shattering, and when you get there you realize it. It's like, no, we're going through the same motions as you are. You're listening to us because we're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, because we are going through the motions. There's a lot of people who have gone through the motions. There are a lot of people who want to go through the motions. There aren't a lot of people that are going through the motions.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're trying to do right now. Because, like, I kind of ask myself that a lot is, like, who would want to listen to me? Or who would want to listen to Andrew or Mark? And it really comes down to just we're doing it, man.
Yeah.
We're grinding every day. We're grinding every day. We're having fun. We're being 22-year-old knuckleheads, but we're also like driven as hell and passionate about what we want to do. And as crazy as that sounds, people want to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so fun to watch the growth that you guys had over the past year and a half, and how far you guys have come, and the people you've met and networked with. And like you said, being comfortable, it's a easy, smooth environment. And that's one thing that's really cool is the guests that you guys have on. Just, you make everybody feel so comfortable up here. Total strangers will come up to your studio up here
on the
and
third
just
floor.
just sit down, and it's relaxed, it's comfortable, and it's really, really good content that I think a lot of people can relate to. So
it's definitely been a trait,
yes,
that we've developed.
For sure.
Sorry, what
For
were you saying, Andy?
No, that's a trait, and I think this the ability to make it comfortable, the ability to talk to someone in this fashion is awesome. I kind of forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, I could pick up.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I think it's just interesting because it's funny when we get someone in. Like Matt Weist was a great example.
Yeah.
Not to beat the Matt Weist horse, but like a lot of these people show up to our door, and we don't even know who these people are.
Yeah.
It's like a couple DMs are exchanged or a couple emails are exchanged, and they had a time to show up, and they show up, and we shake their hand. We say, "Hey, we're the Back Pocket." And then by the time an hour passes by and we talk to these people in this studio, and by the time we're done, it's like you feel like you're your best friend.
Right.
You're best friends with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know what that is. I don't know how that happens.
I don't either. But it's just, again, just ebb and flow of a conversation and showing interest and really listening to what they're saying.
Yeah. It's just an
awesome.
honest conversation. No distractions up here. Just sit and talk. It's so cool.
And I love asking this question, and this is what I was going to say, is because sometimes we lose sight of what the listeners or our friends kind of see us. And I really do appreciate when we have these marketing intern spotlights and just hearing their side of like, hey, this is how I've just tracked you, and this is how I view you guys. And it just reinforces what we're about, and like that we're actually making that impact, because it's, as Declan said, it's kind of hard when you're doing this and you're like, is anyone even listening?
Yeah.
I mean, we have the downloads, but are they just going through the motions? I'm curious. I don't know.
Well, it's not that it's not that we're slaves to the downloads. Like, I could care less of the quantity. I care more about the quality listens. Like, I wish I could know when we impacted someone in a really positive way, because that's what I care about. You know, when someone comes up to us and it's like, hey, I listened to your podcast, and then they tell me about it. Like, that makes my day a million times out of a million. Like, it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Just good stuff.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Getting feedback is so nice. I try to send you guys
Yeah,
as much as I can.
Do a great job.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do a great job. Well, let's hit them with this one.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go? What's next, man?
Yeah. So
Okay.
That's a great question. 2018's trapping the puck on that one. Going to 2019 in the future. What does that look like?
Yeah, it's tough for me to like look just 1 year ahead because I know like what my next 2 years entail, and that's just being in school, learning as much as I can, taking advantage of every possible opportunity I can get with networking, meeting people around the cities, and that's something I definitely want to start doing more. Is
do you see the value in that a lot? Like,
for sure,
just networking and getting to know people.
Yeah, and I think a big thing with our profession is that you want to get exposure to as many different people as possible because there's so many different ways to practice. And so that's definitely something I want to do, keep shadowing, keep meeting docs around the area and just expanding my knowledge as much as possible. But I'm kind of looking ahead to that like 5-year window, and especially being done with school. And it's kind of a toss up. I know kind of the direction that I want to go and who I want to work with and what I want to do, but I don't know where it's going to be. And
well, what is that exactly? Like who do you want to work with and what do you want to do?
So I definitely want to be working with athletes and people that kind of want to better themselves, not specifically like football players, college football players, whatever it's going to be, but people who are active, people who I think everybody's kind of an athlete and active, wanting to get out, feel the best possibly that they can feel. And I don't know, that just stems from the injuries that I've had and kind of being able to see this side where you're sick, injured, not being able to do the things you love to do is really, really difficult. So the only goal really is to be able to work with people, get them feeling optimal, the best they possibly can, so they can do the things that they love to do. And that's happiness in my opinion.
Yes, give them that hope back, give them that consistency back.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
We'll see where that takes me, but that is the overarching goal.
Do you think you have like a little bit of an entrepreneurial bug? And the reason I like say that is because I can't remember when you texted me this, but it may have been after Matt Weiss, but you texted me and you're like,
this is what I was just talking to you about.
Yes.
So this is awesome. He's like, so like Joe Rogan and Aubrey Marcus and all these people? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, what are they at the core of what they are? I was like, well, they're all friends and they're all doing really cool things. He goes, well, isn't that what we're doing right now? Like, can we just keep doing that and just get more exposure of us doing that? And I was like, please expand, because that just blew my mind. I love that mindset.
I don't know. So I am not like huge into the podcast realm and the comedy realm, but you guys, that's your niche right now. And but I love Joe Rogan. I love watching his stuff. But I really like On It. That company is sweet. Aubrey Marcus is doing really cool things. And when I listen to their podcast all the time, it's chiropractors, it's physios, it's these people that I would say everybody that's like a piece of their puzzle has this overarching goal to empower people to become the best versions of themselves, whether it's the content that they're putting out and exposing them to the experts in every field that's related to, growth and spirituality and physical, mental, emotional health, all that kind of stuff. The people that you have on, the people that are inspiring others, that whole thing. And then the physical side and education side, which I'm on right now. I don't know. We'll see where it goes, but I could see that we all have the same overarching goal, I think, and who knows where that takes us. But there's people doing it out right now, and it would be a sweet point to get to.
Our friends all have that same mindset, but they're all in different industries, and I love that we can motivate off each other. We can vibe off each other and continue to elevate each other's game. It's one of the coolest things that we are that close to each other, and it's just like, hey, I'm doing this right now. Oh, you're doing that. Oh, I love that. Can I do it in that fashion? Maybe, but it's going to push me in another way.
Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. That's like my all-time favorite saying.
Dave Meltzer.
But let's go. Like everyone in our group is grinding right now, and the people that we surround ourselves with is huge, and I think we got a hell of a group. So
when we're slowly gathering more as we go too, I mean, the podcast has helped us network with like St. Thomas people and it's Twin Cities, people outside. I mean, all kinds of different people that are all crushing it and grinding even more. And like, it's so cool to have
It's an
just
exciting
those
time.
relationships in your group.
Yeah.
You know, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
What did I learn today? Show me your friends. Show me your future.
Yes.
That's
There you go,
awesome.
dude.
Yeah.
Love that.
And I'll get to the last question. Do you have anything?
No, dude.
Last question. Simple question, Mark. What did you learn today
Yeah.
from the moment you woke up to when we're having this conversation?
I learned a ton of boring stuff at school. Not boring.
Hit me with one.
Yo, let's
We'd love it.
hear
I mean,
it, dude.
it's literally just nervous system is
Okay.
what I just learned about the nervous system.
Okay.
So I really don't want to dive into it. I want us to come up with something better.
Okay.
Okay. What is the nervous system? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, just a bunch of anatomy today. That's all I did. But I would say, like, over the course of the last 30 minutes or so, I think, like, just being able to sit down and have an honest conversation, and, like, I would say I'm taking away from this kind of reflecting back on the experiences that we've had and just how cool it is the way everything fell into place and the people that have come into our lives and all the people that help us got here. Like, I'll say that's what I learned today, is how incredibly grateful I am for everybody that's come into my life and helped me get to this point.
Love it.
How's that work?
Dude.
That's a great
No, I
answer.
love
Yeah,
it.
that works.
I love it, man.
That's your time on the back pocket, Mark. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for listening to that episode of the Marketing Intern Spotlight. Before you go, would love to let you guys know about our survey. You can take our survey in the link of this podcast, as well as follow us on the Backpocket Podcast on Instagram. Hit us up on our blog on Your Back Pockets, that's with an s.com. And of course, always stay in touch. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Subscribe, be a listener. Always interact with us, man. We'd love to provide value to you.